Welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Wow, this is going to be a banger, you guys. Our guest this week is a surfer, pioneer, and business owner icon that helped put Rhode Island surfing on the map.
East Coast.
East Coast. Oh. In his early years, he was an advocate and leader for the surf and skate scene, which led to legalizing of surfing at many local breaks, as well as saving the East Coast premier big wave, Ruggles.
Ruggles Beach.
Yeah.
Ruggles
From Harbor Developers.
Ruggles Avenue.
In 1971, he opened Water Brother Surf Shop and also created his own Surf Fest, which was a midsummer extravaganza,
Correct.
a day of enjoying classic surfboards and skateboards, which is said to be the largest expo of its kind in the country.
That's right.
Dang.
According to Mr. Dick Meserol, he's got the East Coast cred.
This cultural icon is being celebrated in a new documentary, Water Brother. And we're pumped to sit down with the Godfather of Rhode Island surfing, Sid, the package, Abbruzzi.
That's right. Thank you so much, guys. It's an honor to be on the show.
Yes.
Been looking
Thank
forward to
you.
this for a long time, and it's kind of cool that we connected on the site. You know what I mean? So it just makes it more real.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for hounding you, but you're an East Coaster, and you don't come out often.
And it wasn't hounding at all because we basically had no idea what the hell
The
we're
schedule was
going,
gonna be
except
like.
we're going to be here.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't like we got to go to see Grandma or nothing, but you know what I mean. So
Got a
we
lot
just
of
had to
people to
make
see.
it to get here, and we
Yeah.
did. And then my buddy Craig came in last night, so it's all good.
Is Craig from the East Coast too?
Yeah, he's a
Nice.
East Coast ledge.
Craig, what's your last name?
Ferris,
Ferris?
like the wheel.
Okay. Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Craig, the wheel Ferris.
These
They
are-
call me full price Ferris.
They call
Full
at
price
the shop because if you see the film, you see I give away everything all
Yeah.
the time. And so when he comes in, he's full price
I
Ferris.
try to make up some money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the one that gets.
The one day we make money.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that's cool. Got some brotherly love out here with you. And so before we jump into your story, so
Okay.
what was this week like? You did a bunch of movie premieres?
Yeah, we came to my wife. She's running around town right now, but me and my wife flew in, and help me pronounce it.
La Paloma.
La Paloma,
Encinitas.
unreal, Encinitas, a sellout the first night. That was the first. He rescheduled this for the 5th. Good, solid crowd, and then we closed it out there just this Wednesday. And before that, we went to the Coronado Film Festival,
Cool.
and that was really classy. And yeah, it took us by surprise, that place. You know what I mean? We had no idea, and the reception was great. And but this is the major league one right here.
Yeah.
So we're stoked to be with you guys in the majors.
Yeah. So tell us why and who made this film. I mean,
Well,
your story is
yeah,
amazing.
well, it's a funny story. Obviously, I grew up surfing in the 60s. In the 70s, we went over to a spot, another island next to us called Little Compton. And I won't elaborate on the breaks, but at the time, it was sort of like our Western Australia. Okay? All point breaks, farmland.
Rural.
And I was
nothing but-
surfing with this friend of mine named Chuck Canine. I'm 73, just turned 73 in August, and Chuck's around my age. He decided to have kids, okay? And he married a local girl who had a big farm. They ended up having like 11, 12 children,
Holy shit.
8 boys, okay? I sold them all their first surfboards. Now, the whole time growing up in the late 60s and stuff like that, I bought an indoor-outdoor Super 8 camera, went around, hey, you're in, hold it, film. Sid, you in, film. And we just pass it around, little 50-foot reels. And we lost a bunch. You know, we'd write some titles in the sand, like H2O, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And had Big Wednesday, and, you know, days like that. And I just kept the box. And as the kids got over, Chuck is the oldest one, only 41 years old. He's the director, He knew I had that, and we made an attempt 10 years ago, and we've had about 4 or 5 people come up to us for a documentary, and the time always fell through the cracks, and then the time just hit right with these guys. You know, they're all grown up. They do a lot of stuff with Kevin James. They just did Home Team. Adam Sandler's wife wrote the script. So they got up in the big leagues, you know, with their equipment and their style. And we combined all of my stuff with their stuff. And it just worked. And it took us about 7 years to process together. In the meantime, you know, they had to make money too, so they went out and did another film. They had COVID hit, so there's just a lot of stuff. We weren't getting any funding for the film. At first we got $60,000, and processing our Super 8 and High 8 film,
What's the whole budget?
God, that sucked up everything. And I can get into that in a second. I might as well now. A half an hour away from us, a town called New Bedford, they have a place called Sin Lab, SINE-Lab. It's the best processing vintage film company in the world.
Dang.
And it happened to be a half hour away.
In your backyard.
They fell in love with all our stuff, and they sort of gave the boys a discount. It goes right from reel to reel. No filming against the wall. They computerize it and everything. So we were blessed with having that. So now we got 4K Super 8 footage from the 70s, skating from the 70s, all of that stuff. And those guys did it. And a friend of mine named Jerry Kirby saw the project was getting slower and slower. And he got everybody together. My wife actually brought him in, and he said, guys, let's bootstrap this freaking thing. And $5,000 here, $10,000 here. Tell me what you need. Need a hard drive? Hard drive. Another hard drive? Another hard drive. Another $20,000. Music rights, $50,000. TVs, stuff. We borrowed 15 seconds of a TV footage. Had to pay $20,000. You know what I mean? Stupid stuff. But we did it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Here we are.
Yeah.
This is one of your
And
boys.
the film is paid for. You know, it's Jerry and all the boys, you know, have the film, and they got me and my wife showcasing it right now, and you know, leading the direction of where it's going. At first, you know, we had some different ideas. Obviously, you know, they were professional filmmakers. They wanted to go with more, you know, let's get this person in New York. Let's get this booking agent from, you know, Hollywood. And
Turn it
we
into
kept
a-
saying, let's go from hardcore out, not soft core to hardcore.
Yeah.
And so it took a while, but now we're all on great ground, and we're happy in the direction where it's going.
That's awesome. And I think it's kind of an interesting time in this industry, and especially for surf. Like, here we are at Coast Film Surf Festival.
Absolutely.
This has been going on for like 6 years now,
Okay.
I think. And then where you just came from, La Paloma, you know Taylor Steele.
Yes.
He's been doing his Salento Film Festival for the past couple of years.
Yes.
So it's neat to see. And then Florida, I think, what is it? Florida Surf Film Festival?
We were asked, we went to that.
Okay.
We did that.
Yeah, so it's rad that there's relevant festivals like this to showcase films like yours.
And then tomorrow night, those guys down in Florida have Tom Carter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's good.
That's
And that,
insane.
you know, it's kind of what our industry was built on. These kind of really cool, you know, whether it's a big production film or a little local, just getting the, you know, the crew together and
you
people
guys know,
inspired.
because it all started from, like, I'll say it, stuff that wasn't on the shelves was in a suitcase in the back room to make the money in this industry.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, everybody's selling weed. Look, the Florida was crazy back in the day. And then the industry grew, and then it became the industry. And you got all these cool guys doing the right thing. And then all of a sudden, the big money snuck in. These guys are selling out. They're all like getting mad at each other. Board of directors are firing the cool guys.
Yeah.
And where are we now? We're a couple heads popping out of the sand that are cool. And then what? Everything is owned by like 2 companies or something?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
pretty
sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's without talking too much about the industry, you
Yeah.
can't blame those
No, you
those
can't.
guys at the time. They thought that what they're doing was right, but
Right.
in hindsight, it kind of screwed everybody in the industry. So
Yeah.
we're on the rebuild side. It seems like.
we are on the rebuild. I
And
can actually agree with you on that.
the passion for the sport and the industry and all our fellowship is still there. It's just we got to just get out of the noise and stay focused on doing cool shit like you guys are doing.
Great way to say it.
Yeah,
man.
telling
Because-
history and
Because
inspiring.
like 5 years ago, and a lot of people were getting moved around. You know what I mean? So hopefully we're back on the right track. But that's the industry.
Yeah, that's the industry.
So let's go back to the origin story of Sid Abbruzzi.
Okay. So I grew up loving surfing. I played baseball. My dad was a baseball coach. I love sports.
And where are we talking, Rhode Island?
We're talking Newport, Rhode Island. Started surfing around 12 years old. Dive suits, zip ups with the twisty things there.
Yeah.
Wetsuit pants, no boots,
Yeah.
no shark cords, no accessories, no sales reps, none of that stuff.
Yeah, no shops.
Dive suit, beaver
There were
tail.
shops.
There were shops.
There were shops. There was a big 60s rage where they probably had T-shirts and trunks and some clay wheel skateboards.
Do you remember the
Yeah, I
shop?
remember Hobie Surfboards had a place in town.
Hobie did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, a guy called it Hobie.
Okay.
And he worked, they carried exclusive Hobies. Well, I can go back how surfboards came to Newport. I like, me and my mom and her sisters used to go to the shopping center at night. You know what I mean? It wasn't a mall, it was a shopping center. There was store all around. And me and my brother would run down to Sears and Roebuck that carried the Duke Quantamocos, the surfboards. The Duke had a signature line, that was the real ones, and then he had signed a contract, I guess, where he had the pop-outs. And so they had the pop-ups in all the Sears and Roebucks.
Wow.
And then they had Greg Knowles in lumber yards. I remember looking at this and what's that? The guy said it's a surfboard, and it was
And
Greg
this
Knowles.
is
Had a
all
lumber-
happening
This is probably around 66, 67.
in
Now,
Newport, Rhode Island.
Oh, absolutely.
And-
Hundreds of
okay,
surfboards.
the-
Hundreds.
The board that you're talking about, the Duke Hanamoku, one was authentic like wood, like balsa wood?
No. They were foam.
Okay.
They're the real deal. Oh,
And then-
yeah.
and then
we're
what were
not
the
that
pop-outs?
prehistoric.
What was the
There was a
pop-outs?
shop. The pop-outs were just molded boards.
Yeah.
In Rhode Island, we had 3 surfboard companies in the early 60s. And they're all manufactured about 40 miles off the coast. And you know Jim Phillips? Jim the Genius Phillips, not the artist, Jim
Yeah.
the Shaper.
Okay.
Where do you think he's from?
Rhode Island?
Yeah.
Wow.
He started shaping for, what's the name of the guys? But this one guy had a thing. And he was their shaper. And then he started doing Jim Phillips surfboards out of Rhode Island. Then he moved down to Florida. And then he ended up here in San Diego. So I just saw him at some
Yeah.
surf soiree I got invited to the other day, and he's there like, "Hey, Sid," and you know the glasses, Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "How you doing?" And there's one shop still to this day, guy by the name of Peter Pan, which you probably heard of.
Yeah.
Peter Pan. He's a character. He's about 74, great shape, longboard guy, mid-length. He still carries Jim Phillips surfboards at the original shop back in the day.
That's right.
But let's get really quick. There was a shop called Will Jacobs. Okay? Will Jacobs had a Will Jacobs surf van, carried Bing, Hanson, Hobie, GNS, all the classic 60s. They had him.
So there's a big surf scene.
There was a huge surf scene.
And what do you, because we talked about that in previous episodes, what was the reason for the popularity of surfing at that time?
Probably just like
Beach
you
Boys,
guys,
the
man.
music,
Kinship
and
movies,
Digit,
Yeah.
and
the appeal, the Volkswagen van, the
Yeah.
board on the racks,
Yeah.
the same thing.
The full
People
lifestyle of
sitting
it.
on the wall, lifestyles. Mike Doyle came up for Hanson surfboards, and I got a trophy, like 5th place, little boy, and hey, you know what I mean? He's looking at my nose, I was looking at his nose. You know, I mean, funny. But anyway, so long story short, let's get back to me. So anyway, a 3A, 4A contest comes to town. And that's the equivalent of a pro or a QS now. And we had all the best surfers on the East Coast: Mike Taven, Claude Codgen, Joe Rowland, who just passed away. God bless him, 73 years old, just died surfing in Jacksonville. And all these guys. And Joe Rowland rode for Rick Surfboards down south here, or up north here. And I wanted that board so bad. I was like 17 years old, 1969 summer. And I'm looking, where can I get a Joe Rowland model? And there's an outlet in Ship Bottom, New Jersey called Rick Surfboards. And there's a guy, James Fitzpatrick, summers on the East Coast, works for Rick on the West Coast during the winter. So I called him up. I said, hey, I want to get this Joe Rowland model. Yeah, come on down. I drove down with 4 of my friends, borrowed my dad's car, 16 years old, going through New York City. Found it. I remember we were smoking Viceroys. You know, kids, you do anything.
Yeah.
Somebody put a carton of Viceroys in the car. We're all choking on Viceroys. We get down.
We're gonna get it.
We get down there, right? Waves are flat. Meet these guys. I gave them my $90. Surfboards were wholesale $90. Even longboards were $90. $125 for a Hanson 50-50 9/6, perfect. So anyway, they put 4 in my car. Said, we're coming back up to you in 2 weeks. We'll call you. No cell phones or nothing. We'll call you. If you sell them, we'll take the money and bring up more. And that got me into business.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Just that one drive, that one transaction.
I wanted that one board, and that got me into a full scene. And we had
You're 16 years old?
Yeah, just turned 17 in August.
And what were you riding before then? What?
I was riding a lot of boards from the Will Jacobs shop. You know, we were buying. I was always somehow blessed to know what a progressive surfboard was. I had the Hobie Corky Carroll Super Mini. I had the Midget Farrelly Stringless, which was made by G&S. Oh, awesome board. It went from 9.6 to 7.6 almost overnight. You know what I mean? So boards getting shorter.
That's a huge
Everything was
difference.
super cool.
Yeah.
Nat Young is quoted as saying, Nat Young, Australia, saying, by the time the joint went out, surfboards went down 2 feet. I mean, that's what something Nat said.
So you're talking joint as in weed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, that's what Nat said. That's a Nat quote.
And that was like the shift
Nat was the man.
from longboarding.
Wayne Lynch, Nat Young, 1968. They had the World Surfing Championships in Puerto Rico. You can still watch that online. And they had Fred Hemmings beat Wayne Lynch. I still can't believe that. But anyway, Wayne was killing it and all these guys. So anyway, all of that stuff started happening. So now I'm selling Rick surfboards out of my basement. I call up Rick. I said, hey, now they got me going direct. Hey, I need another box of bait.
So you sold those boards that you brought up.
3 of the 4 because you kept.
I sold them all.
Yeah.
Right. All
Like,
my friends. We're
no
all
problem.
ripping. By the way, we're ripping. Right? We're ripping. The old guard of the 9.6 longboard nose riders, no one surfed past 20 back then.
20 years old?
Yeah, 20. You didn't see anybody 30 years old surfing. Ever.
Wow.
When I grew up. Ever. 25 was like the limit. Then what happened? Vietnam happened. You know, and that was another major part of my life. I had a high draft number. I was very fortunate because I was like
On the cusp.
on the cusp. I got 300 in the 320 in the draft lottery. It came up like a Powerball. You know what I mean? I got 320, and I had told my dad I tried college for like 2 months, and I told my dad, hey, I'm too much into surfing now. And I got the high draft number. He said, yeah, I understand, and he was cool. And I went to Puerto Rico right away because that was where they had the World Contest the year before.
Yeah.
So it was fresh in my head.
Was that your first trip there?
First time on a plane.
First time anywhere.
No leash. I had a 6.8
So
for a shortboard and a 7.6 for a gun.
So you draft dodged?
No.
No, they didn't get called because he was in the
Oh,
300s.
okay.
Yeah. Anything under 150, forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now I'm selling Rick surfboards. Everybody's cool. You know, we got posters up and stuff.
And where are you selling them?
In
Just
my
out-
basement. right?
What are you making a board? 10, 15 bucks?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
135, and
Yeah.
I'm getting them for probably 110. But then, like,
But you're like the man now.
I was the underground man.
Yeah.
You know, I was the rebel, and hair's getting longer, and I call up Rick, and they're like, "Hey, guys, how you doing? What's up, Sid? I want to get another 8 boards, 10 boards, whatever."
Are they tripping? You're ordering that many?
And all of a sudden, sorry, Sid, can't sell to you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
You got
like,
blackballed.
What's going on? He goes, "You know that shop, Will Jacobs?" Now, Will Jacobs didn't even surf. He just had a lot of money. He had a dive shop in the middle of Connecticut. He had a surf shop on the coast in Nesquamicut.
full business.
And a surf shop in Newport, part-time. He closed in the winter there. And he had all the A-team guys, longboarders, that were sort of retiring. And we were the underground ripping rebels, right? And he offered them a deal like, "Hey, I'll buy 25 boards cash,
But
as long as you don't sell to
exclusivity.
that kid in Rhode Island, or
Wow.
in Newport."
How
Yeah.
far was he from you?
He was everywhere around me. He had 3 shops, but that
Wow.
didn't matter. It was like, what's he do? So like, it wasn't reps saying don't sell him. This was a strictly cash deal. So I was just like, man, that's weird.
And you're like 16 or 18 years
I'm
old.
17.
17 years old.
So anyway, all of a sudden, a month goes by, and they try to make me an underground label out of the back door of their factory.
Oh, they created a label for you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And believe it or not, they called it Infinity. Not the Infinity in Huntington Beach,
Yeah.
right? With just handmade with a pencil, right? So I still sold them, right? Those guys wanted to ride the boards they were riding. But that lasted a month. So then this guy, John Shanadero, called me up. He's my guy on the phone with Rick. He calls up, he goes, "Hey, I'm moving up to Santa Cruz. This changed my life. I'm moving up to Santa Cruz. And I'm going to start sanding for Overland, who shared the factory with Doug Hout at Swift Street, right?" And I'm there, "Cool. I'm with you. I'm in." So long story
How
short,
did you connect with that guy? From
he was the guy who answered the phone to Rick.
Wow.
Long story short, listen to this deal. So anyway, I'm there, "Cool, John." So I start selling Overlands, best boards in the world. I still have like 50 of them I saved from my friends getting back to me.
and they were
Progressive, twin fins,
Yeah.
5.6, Pat O'Neill, Jim Phillips, the guy was doing the pin lines, doing the airbrushing, super rad.
Were they exclusive, like for like?
Yeah, exclusive for me.
That
No
was
one
it,
knew what the
so-
hell
what was it?
Overland was,
Was
right?
it hot surfboards or
Hout, Doug Hout,
Hout.
H-A-U-T.
yeah?
Still famous.
So Hout surfboards.
Yeah, but
Which
he
became-
shared the factory with Overland. So I was working with Overland, and him and Doug shared the factory. They maybe had the same glasses or something. But so long story short, say, "Hey, I'm coming out there." So I go out. Now I'm going to stay the winter. I try to stay every winter out there. I did that for almost 10 years.
Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Were shops closing down for winters, like the surf shops? So you would have pretty much winters off to figure
there
out.
was no merchandise to carry over. There was no accessory lines or nothing like that. We didn't have reps money.
And you're still in your basement.
In '71, I moved to the little shack. $300 a year. Okay, it's in the movie. But and we dug a
did you name
trench.
it?
I dug a trench, right? I dug a trench to the bar and laid down an extension cord.
For power.
Yeah. So you go over,
Awesome.
give me a beer, and then a car goes over the bump and you unplug the whole power. It's not like we had a cash register; we had a cigar box.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, long story short, I go into Overland. I walk into the Overland factory. Never forget it. Here comes Tom Overland. And they were all Weber guys that came up the coast. It's,
Dewey
you
Weber.
know, Jim Overland, Clear Light Surfboards, and Tom Overland, and Joey Thomas. They were all from down south working for Dewey Weber and went up to Santa Cruz to start a new life, whatever. So I walk in and I said, "Hey, I'm here to see John." And Tom Overland looks at me and goes, "Are you Sid?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, I'm Tom Overland." I'm like, "Wow, honored to meet you, Tom." He goes, "Yeah, we fired John 2 weeks ago. He was taking $25 for every board you bought."
Oh,
How
bummer.
many years was this guy doing it with Rick and with him?
Oh,
So I get
So now
beat
you're
up by
all-
Will Jacobs. Now I'm getting beat up by the guy on the other end of the phone. I
Were they
mean,
going
it's
to
just
cut you off?
No, Tom's there. Like, they fired that guy because he was pinching me for $25 on all of Tom's boards. So Tom's there, like, we fired him. We're taking care of you, Sid. You're our man. And I moved into his house and best friends forever, man. And then Tom ran into a problem with, just back then the drugs. And his brother Jim had passed away from the same thing. And his wife Linda is still alive. She moved him up to Eureka, California, where he eventually got sober, started a sheetrock business, stuff like that.
Crazy.
So, crazy.
So one door closes, another one opens.
Absolutely.
We talk about like whether it's luck or,
Yeah.
divine intervention
Absolutely
or somebody
divine,
looking
yeah.
after you, but you're
Absolutely.
meeting all the right people,
Yeah.
on both
Yeah.
both coasts.
When you might step in quicksand, but someone's pulling me out.
Yeah.
And then just to wrap the Santa Cruz up, I started working with Doug for a while, and he's laid back and cool and great, and Joey Thomas and Mark Angel Shapeball, still a legendary shaper, quiet, that guy. And all of a sudden I see all these little arrows, piercing arrows popping up.
Oh,
Flea and Bonnie and everything. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah.
Doug's chilling. I'm going. I still want to put some gas in the car
You're
here.
forward thinking.
So next thing I know, I told Doug I gotta go, and I worked with Bob Pearson 25 years.
Wow.
Wow.
I did his trade shows. I was down at Long Beach. I was down at San Diego.
All the ASR and
got to be best friends with Flea, Bonnie, Rat.
yeah.
Hung out, full honorable West Sider.
Yeah.
Like Roof pays me the props in the
Movie.
He said, "Man, we die Sid will have a name on the stair." Now, that's getting a little carried away, but I'll take it. So I got to know Mel all during the heydays, man.
Yeah.
And those guys were kids.
Yeah. I mean,
What an incredible surf scene that was, too, back in the day, Santa Cruz. And, we were supposed to interview Rich Novak,
Okay.
and, like, those guys are fucking entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Him, how, I don't know what the
That's
NHS.
Sherman, I think.
Yeah, so it's NHS is Novak,
No, Hout.
Hout, and Sherman,
I believe
right?
so, yes.
And those guys created multiple
Brands.
companies, multiple
Distribution.
brands.
Yeah. And plus, back then, they bought the skateboard shaping machine. So that's why Doug, I went to New York City with Doug Hout, right? When he was selling the skateboards at the toy convention. Right
Big
across
business.
from and we put a half pipe in the Coliseum, right in Central Park Coliseum or whatever they call it. Crazy back then.
Yeah.
That's
You
like
know,
extreme.
crazy.
Yeah.
Everything was like so new to the
Yeah.
general public.
Yeah.
But here
And
you guys,
Doug said, you know what? I own half of NHS. We got the machine, so I'm going to start making Hout surfboards. And so we made the Hout Lamaflex. And we had Kevin Reed ride for us. You guys know Kevin?
yeah, he's a Pearson guy, right?
He
Pe- Pe-
originally a Hout, then Pearson. Rode for Hout skateboards. Unbelievable talent.
Yeah,
You know,
he's like one of the first pioneers of aerial surfing.
Yeah.
he'll tell you he's the first and the
Yeah.
best. He's
Yeah.
got no problem telling you that.
And,
Sure.
And I got no problem believing him.
yeah. And you don't have to speak on this, but like we said earlier, like shit was being sold underground on the
Absolutely.
side that helped,
Propel the industry.
propel the industry.
I mean,
Yeah.
look what
These are seasonal
look at-
businesses
look
for
at
the most
that
part.
Indio Trader,
Yeah.
that movie that is really hard to get.
I have it.
Sea of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to see it. And Bill Murray shows up in that movie, right?
Bill Murray.
No, Bill Murray showed up in the Jerry Lopez
Okay.
movie.
The
He's
Yin
out-
Yang one.
He's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sitting.
He's so
out there.
rad.
Yeah.
No, it's cool that we talk about the industry as a whole, but all these little pockets. Rhode Island, which is
Yeah.
never really on the map but it, like when traditional, like the surf magazines were out here, a lot of the West Coast brands ended up being bigger, companies. But like the influence and the history on the East Coast and all these little pockets,
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'll tell you, if we could just all of a sudden be live and look at a surf shop, I'm going to give a surf shop's name, Cinnamon Rainbow.
Yes.
Okay, it's in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. It has more shit in that shop than half the stores here.
Yeah.
Hundreds of surfboards, all state of the art.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every wetsuit, every skateboard, everything. Hampton Beach, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
17 miles of coastline.
Yeah.
All point.
Yeah.
Maine, 5 or 6 surf shops open all year long.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
When we're from Huntington Beach, right?
Yeah.
And we both, worked at Huntington Surf and Sport.
Okay.
And, back then when you were younger, and that's all we lived, right? Our little slice of surf town.
Remember Egg Heaven?
Yeah.
I got a Super 8 movie filming Egg. I drove through Huntington back in the day.
That's so
you guys had, on the corner was Shacks. And then Greek surfboards.
Yeah.
Wind and Sea.
Yeah.
Wind and Sea. I don't know, that might have been a little later.
Yeah.
Because this is mid-70s.
Is it in the
And
movie?
then you had Egg Heaven.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if they put that part in the movie or not. Just drive it now.
But like us growing up in that scene,
Yeah.
we thought to ourselves like, yeah, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
this is where surfing.
The capital.
Well, Huntington.
Yeah. But then, interviewing people like you and like Grog, right?
Grog.
They educate us on that scene
Yeah.
and their scenes, and it's just
Yeah.
like, wow, man, surfing
Yeah.
is
It's universal.
it's universal.
Yeah, and the East Coast, like I always say in the movie, I say like it's a generation. The localism changes from generation to generation. You know what I mean? And especially in Santa Cruz, you can see how like the university kids had to go surf out of town. The West Side guys would pound them, and now it's getting a little easier for everything like that. But as far as Newport, all of a sudden, Ruggles Avenue got on,
Yeah.
and there was a 20-foot wave face. That was it. There was a free paper magazine, really well done, called ESM.
Yeah. ESM is
Yeah.
big. Paper.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
big.
It's Dick Mesereau,
big.
right?
It was Dick Mesereau and Tom Dugan. Okay, they started it. It was big,
Yes.
and they did Ruggles on the cover shot with a guy bottom turning
20
well
face.
over the top of that
Yeah.
kite, well over. Next thing you know, every hurricane, yo, hey Sid, what's it doing? West Lane, all the guys from Florida, a couple guys on the West Coast. Next thing you know, Benji Weatherly's flying out here.
Wow.
Aaron Chang's here. Brad Gerlach shows up with Parsons with one of the first wave
Jet
jet
ski.
things. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then my godson is Ian Walsh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's my godson.
He's a treasure.
Me and his dad, graduated from high school together. And,
Such a small world.
yeah, and my brother graduated with his brother, same years, we're 2 years apart, whatever. So Ian he was saying he was born here, and then we ended up in Maui like 2 years old, 3 years old. And next thing you know, Ian's flying out during the storms. It's like, wow.
So Ruggles used to be like,
Yeah, it's like a Swami type thing,
Yeah.
a little softer on the face.
But still, just nice
But
open water.
Yeah. It could hold any size wave, and it's really good.
So-
Let me put it that way. It breaks from 2 feet to 20 feet.
now was there some controversy about that?
Yeah, I
place?
legalized it.
And it was
So-
because some mafia guy or some casino.
No, there's
or-
a guy has a house on the point, but he has nothing to do with the story.
Okay.
What happened was in the mid-'60s, hardly anybody was surfing, if anybody. There was no leashes or anything like that, and we were all younger, and everything was just cruising on a longboard, you know. And so one guy was out surfing, probably about waist high, chest high, and one guy was fishing. Classic surfer versus fisherman story.
Caught in the hook.
Right? The fisherman got pissed off. He happened to be the police chief of Rhode Island. We just walked down to City Hall. No boats, no rally, no
Close it
nothing.
down.
No surfing from the corner of First Beach all the way to the Ocean Drive, which, you know, might have had 2 or 3 surf breaks in it, but Ruggles was the feature. And that was it. They didn't want anybody bothering their fishing, especially the surfing thing.
Yeah.
You know, what is that?
Outcast.
So we started surfing it. And as soon as I got a car and realized what Ruggles was doing, and the boards were really moving now, and leashes came out, you know, like shock cords, whatever we called them, we were there all the time. Cops would show up. All right, you guys out of the water. Beat it. They never arrest you. They just throw you out.
Yeah.
So they're like, we got to do something. So me and my brother stayed in the water. 1 cop got 2 cops got 3 cops got. Come in. Blah, 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 blah. Finally, we came in, and they arrested me. Threw me in the back of the cop car in my wetsuit. I'll never forget that. My brother was underage, so they just said, beat it, kid. And I got arrested, and I went to district court. I got fined $10 for breaking the city ordinance. I remember my dad got ejected out of court.
$2.
Italian football coach, baseball coach. That ain't gonna work.
Your record is
Yeah.
you went because you
Yeah.
surfed and your
Yeah.
fine was $10.
So anyway, I found guilty. So we appealed. Well, my lawyer was a friend of mine. That's his first year with this big firm. I played basketball with him. And he calls me up and said, hey Sid, I gotta drop you. Because the guys running my firm represent all the mansion guys that are on the cliffs.
Oh,
So you gotta get a
Conflict,
public
yeah.
defender. So I guess so, you know, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, you know, the ESA starting to form. Hey, let us help. No, all these guys jump on your bandwagon. Like,
yeah.
surf rider, late for the game, beat it. You know, they weren't around there, but the second time I saved Ruggles, I had to save him twice. So went to Superior Court, stood in front of the judge, read the ordinance out, declared it unconstitutional, illegal, not a problem since. Between the time I got arrested and went to Superior Court, right? I got found guilty in district. It was like a 2-month period waiting to get this
That's
into
not bad.
Superior, right? So we're still surfing. A boat crashed. We saved 4 fishermen,
Oh my God.
right? Put them on our surfboards, paddle them in. Ambulance takes them away because they're cold. Well, the cops just get on, throw us right out of the water after we saved 4 guys.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And then there was a little group of the surf guys saying, come on, Sid, let's appeal to, city council and try to change it. And the city council said, listen, we're going to wait to the decision on Abbruzzi's case in court. So that's how that got happened.
So loud.
Could you tell us the origin story with the package?
Oh, the package. Well, let me finish this one quick story on Ruggles. So 2 weeks after we got it legal, I'm usually the first guy down there. So you turn the corner and the sun's rising, and there's all this shimmering glass, right? So you have to park your car here and walk like 100 yards to the cliff. So the cops come up to us and said, hey, what are you guys doing? You get it legalized, now you're down there drinking, smashing bottles, partying.
I hear ya.
I'm there, dude, you got it all wrong. He said, what are you talking about? I said, why don't you look at those bottles? Champagne, away. Well, it was the caretaker on the estate.
Yeah, we
on
can't
the
afford
point.
that stuff.
Yeah.
You can't afford that stuff. Hated us.
Yeah.
Oh, did he hate
So
us.
they threw it all down.
They just, every time he hears the ocean breaking, he smashes bottles.
Just
we
to
get flat
frame you
tires.
guys.
Flat tires.
Oh my god.
So that's just a side note.
Yeah.
The package, my foot, God bless his soul, Tim Davey.
Tim Davey.
Tim Davey, Roper Weber Surfboards, Cocoa Beach guy. Funny guy. Surf, skate, rock and roll. That's all it's meant. You know, there's no deeper meaning than that. I surfed, I skated, and I was in a band.
The full
You see, you
package.
got the whole package: surf, skate, rock and roll. And so that's how that got out.
That's
Full
awesome.
package.
That's it.
I don't think anybody else has that nickname, the package.
No, well, a wrestler did.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know.
And then Ruggles again, last time, just get changing subject, Hurricane Sandy. Destroyed the East Coast.
Oh.
Destroyed the East Coast. Ruggles, the sidewalks collapsed. So they decided to give Newport, Ruggles, like $13 million to rebuild in front of Ruggles. And they were going to put 2 breakwaters to stop the waves. It's in the film, you see the diagram. And were they like, you got to be kidding me. And that's where you talk about the Italian mafia. Well, he had taken over the house. You know, the original house that didn't like us was given to another guy who didn't like it. He bought it. And what he did, he raised his lawn about 8 feet up. And so when you walk the path on the cliff, you couldn't see the guy's house, one of those deals. And when it drained, it collapsed the sidewalks. So they're going to wreck the entire surf break. And we started a petition. It was already agreed by the council to do it. They didn't care about us. And we started a petition, and I remember Scott Bass picked it up a little bit back then, a couple other people. And we got, internet was out by then, and we appeared in front of the city council, and they agreed to just put a little patch, no bigger than that, wall against the base of the seawall, and that's all.
Were all the homeowners, the big wigs, were they on board with preserving it, or did they want the break
They
wall?
wanted the break
Well,
walls,
the
right?
Cliff Walk Commission
Yeah.
said we're never going to get off of this money again.
So we got to do something with
We've
it.
got to save this.
Yeah.
And I'm there, well, this is overkill. I said, it's in the film. I said, you're trying to put a body cast on something that a Band-Aid's going to fix.
Yeah.
And so they voted to save the water. There's too much against it. The marine life, all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the natural look of the cliffs and everything. And so we won.
So
We
you
won.
saved the place twice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great accomplishment.
Thank you.
Well, that
Generations got to know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that and just getting, I mean, everything gets exposed over time, you know, all secret spots and all, like, you know, undercover places. But, you know, it's kind of, you know, if it's done respectfully, people come out and enjoy it. It's like, I'm sure you're, you know, over the moon when people come and get to share the wave with some icons from around the world, you know?
Yeah, that's
it's like,
sure.
yeah, this is my
Tom-
home spot, and they
Tom
come and
Burns
rip.
come a bunch, you know.
Yeah.
Him and his band come to Newport, Tom, Research One, you know. All of those guys. I became really great friends with Derek Hine, really good friends with Tom. I got a Tom story. 1992, Mike Taven built a house on Jeffreys Bay right here, like the house, the white one. And Derek had his Roman ruin house with the crazy front.
I'm talking Jeffrey's Bay, South Africa.
Yeah. And I'm living there. You know, I go there every year for like 5 years and stay for about 4 or 5 months. Like, you didn't have to leave your house. That's this Super Tube right there. Right? And we're there. It was 92 in May. And hey, Tom Curran's coming. Because apartheid was already voted in for next year.
Yeah.
So Tom finally decides to come. And so that famous first wave in Search 1,
Yeah.
where he catches it, it was his first wave.
And I heard a brand new board, right?
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
that's
It was his
That was
first
like
wave.
a twin fin, right?
No.
No, it wasn't a twin fin.
Okay.
That was another wave he rode in Indo or
Got
something.
it.
Yeah.
But I forgot what it was. But so anyway, we're surfing and coming in with a super table. He had a Super 8 on a tripod, and Tom paddles out, catch a wave. I come in, I just want to watch him, right? And Taben's filming him, and up on the hill over here is Sonny Miller. The only guy on the whole bay is Sonny Miller and Mike Tabling from us,
Yeah.
and my friend. That night in the bar, Sonny Miller sees us, and I tried to set him a beer.
Yeah. He's like, you never show footage.
He didn't want to talk to us. Who are these knuckleheads filming my guy on my wave?
Right?
You know?
He was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pissed. Like, who are these guys down there with the camera?
Yeah.
Now they're trying to hang out with me? And so, Sonny ends up being best friends, staying at my house and everything like that, Rhode Island, and stuff like that before he passed. And, but that's the Sonny story. And so I have the first wave on Super 8 High A
Tom.
of Tom, and Sonny has his version. And the guys in the film, when they did the film, were trying to
Match it up.
blend it up, and we were going to do it. Then they decided not to do it. It's their film, so
Yeah.
they decided not to do that.
So you have the same opening wave, just different angles. Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
How
I
good's
remember
that
Tom
place?
comes out of the water, and I got a Water Brother T-shirt. I come up because I didn't know him. I come running down. I hand him a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Right? Goes up to his house. And we really don't interact too much, you know what I mean? Table, because I'm having him down to his house or nothing. And Derek hadn't quite moved in yet. His house was still being built. So I get home, and it's end of July, early August. And Tom shows up on the Search 1 tour. And I walk out of the shack on the beach. What the hell are you doing here? Didn't I just see you? I said, yeah, you saw me in South Africa. This is where I live. You know what I mean? It was kind of funny. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we got to be best friends. To this day, we're best friends. And he comes and his band played at Newport a lot.
Cool.
Travel.
Yeah.
We travel his band. And we bring him to a lot of gigs. He's got Ruggles good.
Yeah.
He's got Ruggles good.
So tell us about Water Brothers and how that came about.
Yeah, well, it started out, there was just a shack on the beach, and it was $300 a year.
And when you say shack, how big?
From here to there,
So 20 by 20 feet.
then from
maybe.
here to the tree. That's
Small.
just a box. 2 pop-up windows that pop out, a door. We put the sign up.
You open in 71, you're just selling boards,
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
Bars of wax.
bars of wax.
And how was business?
Police, we didn't care. You know what I mean? We didn't care.
It got me on a surf trip in the West Coast in the
Yeah,
winter.
We didn't care.
But
That
we
was the last of our worries business.
But were you selling stuff? Was it an actual
Yeah, we were
business?
selling surfboards, and we had T-shirts from Tom Overland, and
Yeah.
Fesley Dugout T-shirts, and then O'Neill wetsuits. O'Neill wetsuits. And then Mike Grassley, legend. Originally from California, but a New Jersey guy, became what I thought was the first legitimate sales rep.
What's his name?
Made it Mike Grassley, Grassley. Started selling all the skateboards were oak. You didn't want to sell them pop-out ones. You wanted an oak board where you had to drill it yourself. Sure grip trucks, Chicago trucks, Oak Street trucks. The urethane wheel comes out. We sell hundreds of urethane wheels.
So you're talking like not the plywood stuff. You're talking like the
Oak. The
Yeah.
5-ply hadn't come out yet.
Yeah. So is it like
Everything was either fiberglass molded or oak.
Yeah. Super strong.
Is that Logan Earthski?
Yeah, they were oak. And then when 5-ply came, it all 7-ply, whatever it was, it all hit the same time. And boards went from 8 inches to 10 inches. The Alva ads changed everybody's life. You know, everybody thought skating was this, and now it's like, F you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was like home to us. We were
Yeah.
like, we get this guy. And so we all
And
started
you were skateboarding early
all
on
the
too.
time. For us, it was just surfing.
Was
There's no difference.
Was skateboarding like just the core surfers, or was it just
It was
like
just the
jocks?
core
And
surfers.
no, there wasn't like
Core
it wasn't
surfers.
mainstream
Core
really.
surfers.
Yeah.
Not yet. And
Not yet.
that became a turning point because that we were told that too. Jake Phelps. We
Yeah,
an
Thrasher.
example. We go all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no half-ass Water Brother story. Jake Phelps worked at a skate park in Boston, Massachusetts, an indoor skate park in 1975. And
That's
we're
so
going
crazy. Had indoor
Yeah.
skate parks and all these killer like
Yeah.
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So
I
we
didn't
go
know
in.
Jake Phelps was from
Oh, he's
East
from
Coast.
Boston. So Jake comes up to me because we had been going there for months.
Yeah.
And Jake comes up to me. Hey, Sid, I want you to know something. I mean, what is it, Jake? Because Jake's a tough dude.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
He's
the
opinionated.
Felper. He is opinionated. I want you to know something. We're the first skateboarders.
Wow.
You guys are surfers.
But we're the first skateboarders.
We're the first generation of skateboarders. And I couldn't disagree with them, but we're the first guys to go up and skate Boston. We're the first guys to skate the Boston City banks. First guy to skate the sea pool, Jake. So you're the first guy that didn't surf that skateboarded.
Yeah.
So if you want to draw the line there, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
It's-
wanted to make sure
For sure.
that
Get that
they're
said.
skateboarders
Yeah.
and we're combos.
Yeah. We
We're half.
What's it? Yeah, like there wasn't any magazines, so everything was like word of mouth, right? Like there
Well,
were
they had a couple things.
couple.
Yeah, they had
Surfer was already going up and running, right?
Oh, Surfer
Yeah.
was running.
It was called
And then
International
the magazines
Surfer first.
actually,
Yeah.
you know, the back third of all the magazines were all skate ads at the end.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
A lot of the Val Surf,
Mail order.
The,
Mail order
the
stuff
mail, the
was
Solar
on
Surf,
skateboards,
Foul
yeah.
Surf, all of that stuff.
it's funny. We talk about that how surfers started skateboarding. They started
Absolutely.
skateboarding.
And there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and then somewhere, maybe late '70s, early '80s, is when there was like a separation,
Complete separation.
where guys like Jake Phelps are like, no, we're,
Told
not,
you.
we're fucking skateboarders.
We're skateboarders.
We're different from surfers.
You guys are cool. You know what I mean? Like, slow down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And little do they know, it's guys like you, Tony Alva,
Yeah.
Stacy Peralta,
Yeah.
that were surfers that
Yeah.
made skateboarding
Yeah, we
what
went
it was.
around. We drove around. You know, we weren't looking for curves and ledges
Yes.
and nothing.
Yeah.
We drove
Slappies.
around looking for banks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
you get carved on.
Come up and lay in some turns.
By the way, I got so much Super 8 film of that.
So
That's
yeah,
so
going back to
insane.
your how many reels did you think you preserved or kept, and how many did you lose?
Hundreds of
Hundreds.
feet, 2 miles.
Wow.
I was told by the guys at Cinelab that we had 2 miles of footage.
And what is a reel back in the day cost? Because it couldn't have been cheap, right? To like produce.
Well,
buy,
you had
and-
to wait. That was the problem. It was like $3, $4, which is a lot for
Yeah.
the reel, and then about $7 a process. A 50-foot reel is not even a minute or two. You got me. So that, and I had an indoor-outdoor camera. So I also took the first film of the Ramones
What?
in Massachusetts.
Dang.
That's
Let me
incredible.
cool myself
So
down.
you took
Yeah.
that thing everywhere with you. So you went everywhere with your
So
camera.
skate, rock, and roll.
Yeah.
But I wasn't one of them nuts.
No.
I wasn't one of them
No.
camera nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, you just had
You
it.
were doing
I
it
just had it.
because you were in the scene. You were part
Yeah.
of the scene.
Yeah. Well,
And you were documenting it.
yeah. And in Newport, when the punk music started coming out, when the original music coming out, I had a couple friends of mine who owned nightclubs, and they, hey Sid, cover bands. Oh, I got any bands you suggest? I'm there. I'm like, yeah. How about the Ramones? So the Ramones came to Newport. They played 2 nights because at the time you had to play the whole weekend. You come in and play the whole weekend. So they played 2 nights. We got to know them. They weren't the friendliest guys in the world, but we were really nice to them. And we followed them up to Boston. I filmed them in Boston for the first time.
Yeah, back then they're accessible. Like, they would have drink before the show and drink with everybody after.
Yeah.
Like kind of smaller venues.
Yeah,
Boston
exactly.
probably was huge. But
Yep, like Aerosmith played at a hotel in Newport. Twisted Sister played at a hotel. Stuff like that. New York Dolls.
Yeah.
New York Dolls played like it. We picked them up at the airport. That was weird. But
Yeah,
stuff like that.
you've got an infamous history, right? You do. But before we get to that part, so when you're growing up, you're surfing, you're loving surfing. Did you surf contests?
Yeah, I did. I got in the ESA. We're in District 1. We're blessed to have Dr. Colin Couture as our district director, who eventually became the head director for the ESA. They got his statue at Cape Hatteras. He became the man.
yeah.
And I tell you, Trip, so ESA was going, we entered District 1, and if you qualified enough points, you go down to Cape Hatteras,
Which
for
was
the East Coast Surfing
East Coast champ,
Championship.
yeah.
And I
How
think
old
I
were you
got,
then? Like 16, 17?
well, I was a little older, I was a little older, probably in my early 20s.
Okay.
Okay.
So you got serious about surfing contests.
Yeah, but not really, because they
There
were
wasn't
so
many.
reckless. And there's not so many of them, They were more fun. You go up to Cape Cod for the weekend. surf,
Travel.
Travel. It was fun.
And you already had Water Brothers going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it's a couple T-shirts in a box and a couple surfboards, but it was going. But Doc picked me and I think a friend of mine, Demi Rader from Narragansett, and another buddy of mine said, hey, come with me, I'll get you guys tickets. And they flew us out to the West Coast. This is like 72, 74. And Doc rented a small camper, and we went up and down the West Coast. We went up and down the West Coast to, there's Jamie Mousberg, the Mouse, Philip. Went up and down the West Coast to bring legitimately to the ESA and to try to get sponsors
Oh, cool.
to recognize the ESA as an ESA thing, and it became
Basically being famous.
Yeah, Mr. Duncan.
it became
Hey, what's up, you troublemakers?
how's it going? Hey,
Video, they're
yeah.
filming.
And it became what do you call it? Like trying to get national sponsors.
Yeah, like a portfolio, like a video, like
No, he's just trying to get sponsors. Nancy Caton came on big for the ESA.
Wow.
oh,
She
cool.
was one of the first sponsors for the ESA. Remember we stopped at Con Colburn's house, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Were those brands established on the East Coast? 'Cause
Just
Kate was
brands,
huge.
what they did was, give a couple $1,000 to keep it going.
Products
And
and
they had a really thin little zine page called Eastern Waves or something like that.
Eastern Waves.
Yeah, so it's just a little, that had all the contest results
Yeah.
from the districts and the ratings of everybody and stuff like that. And that's how that worked.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many big events, like pro events, they've had on the East Coast, and
Yeah.
especially back in those when the heyday in like the '80s. You
Yeah.
know, like a world tour stops.
Yeah.
And then one time, you guys, in the 70s, they had the ESA contest championships, and parlayed it the next day started the U.S. Surfing Championship at Hatteras, and the waves are unbelievable. I remember I didn't obviously make the USA one. I made the East Coast one. I got knocked off somewhere. At one point, I was like ranked 17th, which is good enough for me, I guess. But we stuck around, and Ricky Rasmussen,
Yeah.
I
Goofy
think
footer,
he won
pipeline
that. It was
map?
1974. Yeah, I think he won that.
Floridian, right?
Jeff Crawford, who won the
Yeah.
pipeline Masters.
He's a Floridian too.
Greg Law,
Yeah.
all those guys.
All Florida guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you
Well,
get
actually, Ricky Rasmussen was from Long Island.
Oh, okay. Were you sponsored by people?
Myself.
By Water Brothers?
Yeah, we never. I mean, I get some rubber from O'Neill,
Yeah.
you know, and then Rip Curl. You know, eventually I worked for Rip Curl for 25 years.
You worked for them,
Well, you know,
selling their suits.
doing the ambassador work for them, traveling with them, doing the stuff with them. You know, I worked with them for a long time.
But we talk about how, like, if, you surf well, if you rip,
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities open up, and
Right.
if you have a shop and a businessman and, just like how you got your start at 16 selling boards,
Right,
like,
exactly.
hey, this kid's kind of cool, he knows his shit and he's freaking ripping. I mean, it's easy to sell when you're on the product ripping out in the water.
You know, that's what we did. You know what I mean? And another thing we started doing is doing a surf report by phone.
Yeah.
Like it was like answering machine. Every day you could call me out. Hey, thanks for calling Water Brother Surf Report.
We got a special wax.
Waves that need a waist high. A little choppy today, but we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go out and have some fun, And then I did the surf report for over 40 years.
Yeah.
So did you ever move the shop? Like, did it?
Yeah, about 20 times.
Yeah.
We let the beach shop went from 71 to 92, 93.
A little shack.
Yeah, we had a mini ramp next to it.
Yeah.
Then I built a vert ramp next to it, right on the water. Tony Hawk, Christian Lasoy, all the
I've seen
Fletchers, everybody came. Jason, everybody. I had the whole world there. Tom Curran, whether the world champs of surf, world champs of skate, they were in that parking lot at that beach.
You're kind of like the precursor to the X Games and
The first X Games were in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And my shop was like, hey, dude. I mean, what's up? They said, listen, I'm calling you. I'm the team manager of Santa Cruz. I mean, yeah. We're going to have our team riders' boxes sent to your shop.
Xanadu?
No. Santa Cruz.
Santa
Oh,
Cruz.
Santa Cruz, sorry.
So, I mean, yeah. But that happened with everybody.
Yeah.
Like Plan B, Danny Way, and all those
Somebody that
guys.
can receive it, make sure it's
So,
not
I
getting
mean,
stolen
what
off
are the
the
extreme
front porch.
games? And where they're like, hey, guys, can you believe it? All the best guys in the world are coming here.
Yeah.
And because we love vert, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? All the best guys are coming here. They built a street. They built it right at Fort Adams
Why do you think they chose New?
because they were from Bristol, Connecticut. That's where ESPN was.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 hours down the road. So they grabbed Newport.
Central.
Iconic place.
Yeah.
Fort Adams. Iconic, where they had the Newport International Jazz and Folk Festival, where I ran to Surf Fest. Iconic place, right on the harbor, right on the bay, right there. Beautiful. So they had the X Games 1, X Games 2 in Newport.
That's cool.
So going back to Water Brothers, did it ever become a serious business for you?
Yeah, of course. Especially, I took on, in the 70s, evolved into the 80s, I grabbed a friend of mine, Rick Wybers, became a business partner. I mean, the film tells it all, guys.
Yeah.
You see the films,
Yeah.
you're gonna
I can't.
cry.
Yeah.
You're gonna cry. And, Wad came in, and the shop was packed with everything. We started carrying other brands. First company carried Volcom. We did Lost, a little bit of O'Neill, Rip Curl, every sneaker. You know how the
Skate
sneakers took
industry.
off, all the skate stuff. About 5-6 brands of surfboards, West Coast, East Coast combined.
Yeah.
Everything.
All open all year?
January, February. Yeah. And then eventually we started doing our own label. We had Shepard Ferry from Obey make our clothes.
Yeah.
He was going to school at Grizzly, Rhode Island School. It was cool.
Yeah.
We were very lucky.
I saw he was making posters for you guys or something like that?
He did. He's literally was going to college, Rhode Island School of Design, and he printed our stickers and our T-shirts. And I call up, hey chef, what's up, Sid? Listen, I'm running a little late. Okay, I'm gonna put it on my back porch. Seriously, T-shirts. That's how it worked.
That's so funny. What a small world.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Did you know that he was
No.
an artist? Like,
Well,
or gonna be? Like,
Shepard was originally from South Carolina, and he came up to Rhode Island School of Design, RISD,
Yeah.
world famous art school, world famous. And he went around to all the shops, cool shops. Said, hey, I want to make your stickers. Hey, can I print your T-shirts?
wow.
And I didn't use any of his graphics because my guys were good too. You know what I mean?
A good
But I ended
supplier.
up doing 2 or 3 graphics he designed for me. Did a water faucet. He did a shirt that Craig has on now that's got to be 25 years old. But what about the shirt he got
Yeah.
on today?
So Water Brothers. What year was it where you started taking it serious? Like,
We took, I decided to say mid '80s on during the X Games. You know, it was the real deal.
yeah.
It was the real deal.
And the skate industry was starting to become something, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, huge. We had our kids were the best. Our surfers were the best. We're hands down like clubbing people. So we're like.
And you sponsored a lot of kids over the years?
You got to see the movie. Since anyway, I was sponsored. One guy cries there. It's so funny. He said, I thought I was sponsored by Personnel. I thought I was sponsored by Personnel. But no, Sid's just giving me free shit.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
you
the
gotta,
sponsor.
that's a line from the movie.
That's so awesome.
I mean, that's what it's about, you know, like
Yeah.
giving back and
Just
stoking up
making
the
the kids
kids.
stoked, you know? You know, that's the whole deal.
Yeah.
So you had a notorious kind of what do you call it? Reputation.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
in my movie, you'll see it. These guys don't pull no pluggies. And we were partying our ass off. And it wasn't for any good.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't any good. We do like two or 3 day runs, sober up for 2 weeks, another 2 or 3 day runs. You know, after a swell, you go crazy for a few days. You know, you get excited because some of the boys are coming to town. Whatever it took.
Yeah.
Whatever reason you wanted to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys were savages.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. But
That's part
Savages
of-
in the Northeast.
That was the time of your life, though, you know?
Yeah.
and I heard you ran marathons.
Yeah, I did that.
Now was that
I really was like, you could hit a switch and I was either off or on, that's for sure. Yeah, I loved running, I loved playing basketball, and then, you know, you go into the abyss for a while. I never did hard drugs like heroin or anything like that, never did thought of stuff like that, but we started a line or 2 back in the day and had a couple of beers, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But what made you run marathons?
I like running. I ran like half marathon and stuff, but I ran a full marathon when I was 40 years old.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now
And actually, it was sort of, I'm going to be honest with you, I had made a fool of myself drinking once, and I didn't get a DUI, but it was borderline close. And I said, dude, no more. And I
Changed
just
my
kept
life.
running. But I didn't quit drinking until after a trip to Hawaii 12 years ago. I quit drinking.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'm 73 now, so like I still have fun at 60, but not any of that shit or nothing.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
It's good, you know? It's,
No, it's awesome because I mean that's gonna put more years on the back end,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And memories, like you're gonna retain your memories that much.
sure, absolutely. You know, when I met my wife, you know, I wouldn't have met my wife if I didn't become sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's awesome. You know, and
Now,
I
do
di-
you
I
have
di-
kids?
no,
Never
no.
had kids?
I got married. My wife's you know, a lot younger than me, and she's beautiful. But I didn't get married till I was 60 years old.
yeah. Hey, better late than never. You know?
Savages don't get married till late, bro.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So, when what was you said your first trip was like Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico in the winter of 69, 70. No leashes. 3 months down there. So we were down there. I didn't want to go home. But everybody that was living with me went home. So one buddy was living with me said, hey, you should go to Cocoa Beach. Cocoa Beach was the Huntington Beach of the East Coast. These were all the guys there. Best surfers in the world. That's where Kelly was born. Tabling, Crawford, Law, all those guys. It was a surf ghetto of the East Coast. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. The guy says, I was staying there last year. I'll go with you. But I got to fly out the next 2 days. A friend of mine named Billy Bollinger. Bollinger was a premier surfer back in the day. And his, he had been down there the winter before. He goes, I got to do some stuff and then I'm going to go home. So he had bright red hair, flaming red hair. And so we arrive in Miami, surfboards, 2 surfboards, all of that stuff. Take the bus up to Cocoa. And so we leave our surfboards at the Cocoa bus terminal. And we get a ride to A1A, Cocoa Beach. You guys ever been there?
Yeah.
So I'm walking down the street, A1A, with this guy who was like, Carrot Top or something. and Phil Salick and Rich Salick from the Salick brothers that run the National Training Foundation.
Yep.
They recognized Bollinger's red hair, and they threw us in the car. Said, what are you guys doing? And Red said, here's my buddy Sid, and he wants to stay down here. They go, you stay on our couch. So Bollinger split. Next day he was gone. So I ended up living on these guys' couch. These guys rode for Dewey Weber, the Dewey Weber surf shop. Mike Tabling's dad had a shop. Tabling was the man. Kelly Slater's dad. Kelly said Tabling was the best surfer ever from the East Coast. And I believe it. I lived with that guy for 25 years.
Wow.
Rips, no games. And just a 6'5", wow, ride a fish like this. So anyway, next thing you know, Crawford and Law live underneath us. The Salick brothers, Tabling comes over all the time. I'm hanging around with all the hottest guys. I didn't even know any of these guys. All of a sudden, I'm getting a ride down to Sebastian Hills with them. I'm watching the best surfers, in my opinion, I've ever seen. Keckley was a kid. He was only like this big.
So this is like late 70s.
I was, the 70s. I was standing with Keck when he broke his ankle at a half pipe. At 11 years old, he snapped his ankle. You ever notice he wears a leash on his front foot?
Yeah, that's right.
I never know why. I don't know why.
Is it because he...
Maybe because he didn't want to pull down or something.
Yeah.
But Kelly's first board was a Salick, and so was Keckley. They all rode for the Salick brothers.
Yeah.
And they were originally from from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
So it's funny how the world, you talk about different places and stuff.
Yeah, the little epicenters and all these little things. And here you are, you go down to Florida and you get tied in with the
the 18. The 18.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. And then we came all the guys, Dickie Munson and all these guys. And then Tabling starts making Sean Thompson surfboards, Raspberries surfboards, Crawford surfboards. I ended up going to Bahamas with Tabling. I ended up living with him 5 years in South Africa. Crazy stuff.
So how does...
Because I was walking down the street with a guy with red hair.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
such a small
world. No other description of that.
Yeah.
So were you like... Because it's seasonal business, right? Water Brothers was seasonal.
You can call it.
Yeah. And that's how you, like, went and lived other places?
A little bit, yeah.
So you were, like, super
But
nomadic.
lived poor. Just enough food, peanut butter and jelly, boxes of, I lived on mac and cheese, 5 for $1.
Yeah.
Lived on it, Your mom sending you $5 here, $10 here, made a lot of difference.
Saltine crackers. My dad would do saltine crackers and sardines and shit.
It was like peanut butter.
Yeah,
and then when you couldn't afford peanut butter, you got apple butter. And then you realize apple butter sucks. And so, you went back to peanut butter.
Honey banana.
Yeah.
whatever.
Mac and cheese. That's how I live on mac and cheese.
So you were.
I would pour ketchup on my mac and cheese to change it up.
Yeah.
Hot sauce.
So you would just pick up everything and move from like Florida to South Africa.
Well, South
Puerto
Africa
Rico.
came later. I didn't go to South Africa until I was 40.
92.
Yeah, 92.
Yeah.
And what was the?
I was in Cocoa Beach in 71, 72.
Were you
And I was in
working?
Santa Cruz in 70.
Were you working at any of these places? How are you making ends meet?
I washed dishes in Cocoa Beach for a couple of weeks. I just sort of survived.
Yeah.
You know, the rent was free most of the time, and I wasn't a mooch. You know, when it got time to say I flew from Santa Cruz to Cocoa Beach, because after I started going to these places, people started going to these places, my friends. So
You kind of
all these
open
guys
up the
from
door.
I opened up the doors. The Cocoa Beach became Newport, Rhode Island South. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had all the boys from Newport going down there that couldn't afford to go to Hawaii or work
Yeah.
for the chart house. They all worked for the chart house back there. All of that stuff. So I was fortunate. They all get houses. I come in, hey, I'm going to stay a month here, $75. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
eat back on the macaroni and cheese. I worked in the orange groves. You go there, they called them the free groves,
Tough work.
where you didn't have to get paid by the hour. You go there,
You get paid by weight.
you get paid by the bush
Blocks.
blocks,
Yeah,
yeah. And they were wild grows, so you could do it any way you want. You like one guy would get on the tree and shake it, and then you pick it up, and there were snakes in there and stuff like that because
Sketchy.
they didn't manicure the groves. So you make, hey, listen, I made $10. Okay, that's enough for 2 days. That was enough for 2 days. It's when they got to surf.
You guys just work to live and live to surf.
That's it. That's it. You know, and then the skate parks started showing up, and you know, we had a little skateboards, a paved way, skated that, Indian Harbor Skate Park. I was a wheels on the ground guy and a kick turn, the front side grind. I couldn't get airs or nothing like that.
Yeah.
I was just surfing.
But just hanging out with the right crew.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely the best. Surfing wise was like, man, the best. You know, one guy had me vacuum the Taco Bell, not Taco Bell, the Taco House. We get
Hi.
You guys are recording, you're not supposed to pretend I'm not here. No, I'm just kidding.
we're having a party here.
Yeah, it's okay.
We want to let people know we're getting photographed.
Yeah, we're popular.
What's
Thank
your
you.
name?
Ashley.
Ashley?
Yeah.
Nice.
This
Nice
is
to
Late
meet
Night
you.
with Chalky.
Yeah.
Late night with Chalky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Late Night, I'm Chalky. This is the package.
That's it.
Late night Chalky, the package.
Yes.
Yeah.
How
It's nicknames.
unique.
Yeah.
That's how we
So
roll.
this is
that
his
again.
movie, the Water Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Tonight, 7 something.
Tonight, 7 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be here. And
All
I'll have
these screens.
no idea what time it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like
Time
7:10
distortion.
or 7:15.
Okay. I'll know.
Chad
that
Smith's
it's the
going to
time
do a
and
Q&A
see it.
with me.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Are you podcasting?
They're doing it
Yeah.
before the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what took you to South Africa? Waves or
Mike Taylor.
okay.
He built this incredible house in South Africa. Like, incredible.
Is he
Like-
the one that's was part of Chart House? Or is that
No, that's Joey
Jo-
Cabell.
okay, Joey Cabell.
I just saw that guy.
Joey Cabell
Yeah, he was at this dinner.
down south.
Yeah,
That's nice.
at that El Rey. That guy, Chris Cote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He called me up and asked me and my wife if we wanted to go to some surf riders thing.
Cool.
And we went just for a little bit, and it was like 2 weeks ago. And Joey Cabell had us back to us, but he was there. But I flipped. I got to meet Rory Russell.
That's
That
awesome.
was so cool.
You never
And
met
then
him
he showed
before
up
then?
to my movie. Showed up to my movie and loved it and cried and everything. He said,
That's so awesome.
you look like Keith Richards.
Yeah. I mean, that's
He looked just like he had the scarves on and
Just-
shit. I'm there like, damn, Rory. After the movie, he goes, dude, we're brothers.
yeah. I mean, that's what's beautiful
Oh, God.
about surf and everything. It's like,
So much
Yeah.
character.
there's so much character, but just, the guard goes down. It's like the tribe, it's like a brotherhood
it's
for
unreal.
sure.
It's unreal.
You might know people from affiliation or just their name in the industry or whatever. And it's
Yeah,
like
I had never been in the
there's so much-
same room with him
Yeah.
ever. And I saw him across the way. I told my wife,
Gotta go say
Rory
hi.
Russell. I gotta go over there and like shake his hand.
Rory,
So,
the dog Russell.
the dog.
Yeah. So, Mike Tabling was one of your best friends.
yeah, God bless his soul. Mike did a lot. And through Mike, I met Derek Hine. I traveled through England and Scotland and Ireland with Derek Hine. He tried to start a new Rebel tour where he brought Shane Beshin, Gavin Beshin, Dino Antino, and a couple other guys. And we all traveled all through England, all through Ireland.
How amazing is those places?
Yeah.
I mean,
Good.
Ireland has great
We
waves. I
got
never
good,
got good waves in England, but
England was like sort of like just ahead East Coast.
yeah,
Crosswind.
short interval wrap.
Yeah,
lots of tight
sort of
swing.
wrapping those ledges. But Ireland, when I left Newport, Aaron Chang was there, Benji Wedley and everything, and Ruggles was like, 15 feet. And so when we got to Ireland, we surfed a couple times, and
Was it
Beshin.
Bunduran?
Yeah, Beshin and those
Yeah.
guys said, we're not going to England right now. You tell Derek, because I was Derek's assistant.
Yeah.
You tell Derek, we ain't going to England. I'm up in their hotel room. We're all off staying on a bus. Every time we think it's a hotel room, those guys got it. We're living on a double-decker bus having fun. Kiko, the guitar guy for the first Search One, was on the bus. Red Bull sponsored it, like booze everywhere. We had lifeguards because it was insured. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
So you
Loose.
were helping Derek Hine with the team?
Yeah, I was his
Okay.
assistant.
Huh.
He called me out of the blue. I've been friends with him. Flew me to London. We're on the tour bus, and those guys.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're on the tour buses, and we get a basic day in Bondurant. I go up to the north to Port Rush, the tip, get an okay day there. The promise was we run an amateur contest with only like 5-6 guys in it, and then the pros would do their demo. Derek would judge them on an advanced scoring system, which was in his brain.
Yeah. Boot rip.
And we take it from there. And so we get down, and they said, "Hey, Sid, come on up to the hotel room." All right, what's up, guys? We're not going to England. The waves are coming here.
Yeah.
And they had their own agenda.
Yeah.
They had Pete
You wanna
Frieden.
score,
They
yeah.
had Pete Frieden follow them around
Yeah.
behind the bus. And so they came, and they, we canceled Newcastle in England, and we stayed in Ireland, and the waves were insane.
So killer there.
So good.
So was it like part of the search kind of thing or no?
No, it had nothing to do with the church.
Okay.
It was a Sky Sports Red Bull project.
Got it. What a trip. So why did Derek decide to hire you?
Because
Just
I'm his
like-
friend.
Okay.
And
You
he knows
surf
I
and
know
you
I
can
knew-
travel.
Yeah, I'm his friend. I surf
Party.
with him all the time, and he knew I had me and him were laying on a cliff, judging these guys, laying with a little castle behind us.
Yeah.
Laying on a cliff, man, it's crazy.
Because I mean, I asked that question with like, it's such a trip because here's Derek Hine, who's also Australian legend,
Well,
and
I think he's, man, during the 90s, I thought he was the best surfer in the world. Guy with the one eye. You ever hear about his eye story?
what happened with him?
He was in a contest and got the German 500 or Gunston 500, and he stood in his heat. Board came back, hit him in the eye. Well, didn't have an hand, there's nothing. He got on a bus, holding his eye in his head. Well, he gets to the hospital, he has to wait an hour like this. ends up losing his eye.
Oh.
Okay, they gave him a card so that an injury card, so he'd get back on the tour next year. That year, he was ranked 12th. Okay,
With one eye.
no, not yet.
Before.
12.
But he got
So he took a year off,
And got back his seating.
entered the tour again, right? Came in 13th in the world with one eye, and he said, "I proved enough. That's it. I am out." Then he became the writer, the author, everything.
Yeah.
I think we're.
We should start wrapping it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get
Too
blown
much
out.
noise.
Hey, stay tuned for part 2
Yeah.
one of these days.
This is
We
it.
will.
This is it. Thank
All
you
right,
for your
guys.
time, dude.
Oh, you guys are the best.
Yeah,
You
this is
are a legend.
Yes,
We're
we're-
so fortunate to be able to sit down with you here tonight.
Thanks,
Congrats.
my favorite late night with Chalky, baby.
And congrats on your documentary.
Thank
and everybody go watch Water Bros
Yeah.
Tonight.
tonight
enjoy
or
it.
anywhere.
All righty.
Peace.
Yeah, we're not